So our friends in Idaho, they're burping up some smoke, and we're kind of getting some residual effects of that, huh?
Yeah, we're going to send the tax bill over there too for that. Some of that smoke coming its way down here. You know, it's giving some hazy weather in place right now. Here's the headlines, what we're following through the next couple of days going into this weekend. The pattern that we have has not really changed a whole lot, and it's not going to change a lot between now through this weekend. The big difference I think you'll probably notice is when you step outside this weekend, those temperatures are going to be scaled back by a couple degrees, but we're still going to be running rather warm. Lots of sunshine, so that answers the question. Fall like this weekend? Not so much, but you know what? It's not going to be as warm as where we have been either. Speaking of smoke, this is what's going on across some of the fires in Idaho, some of that smoke wrapping around that flow of high pressure. So we are seeing some of that smoke coming its way across the Sierra into northern California over the next few days. That will give us some hazy skies from time to time, but I don't see really reduced air quality as a result of this. Certainly not like anything we've seen already this season, but something to keep in mind of some of the hazy skies we've had in place. In terms of cloud cover, we don't have any right now across northern California. So high pressure is positioned to the north, and the winds go clockwise around that. That's why we're seeing some of that smoke from the Idaho fires wrapping around that ridge of high pressure coming into northern California. But what's interesting to see too is down to the south, a weak area of low pressure has led to some showers into southern California. When you see a pattern like this, a high over a low, we call that a blocking pattern. So it's like a traffic jam in the atmosphere. It just doesn't change. And it takes a long time for this to see some changes. So between now through the weekend, we still have that same setup in place. Through the weekend into next week, that ridge starts to shift a little bit toward the east. So it's going to allow those temperatures to scale back by a couple degrees. But if you notice to the west, we'll see that ridge building again. So much of next week across the Pacific Northwest into northern California will carry with above average temperatures again. So not seeing a substantial cool down at all. Maybe a couple degrees of temperatures, low 80s, before we start seeing those temps going back up. The East Coast, however, a significant cool down in place there. That's where it feels a lot like the fall season. Here, not so much. Temperatures right now, upper 80s, lower 90s for the city of Sacramento. We will be down to the 50s overnight, so it's a comfortable start to the day tomorrow for the valley. The Sierra will start off temperatures into lower 30s, such as Truckee to South Lake Tahoe. But under that sunshine, everybody begins to warm up. We'll be into the upper 80s tomorrow afternoon for the valley, mid 80s for the foothills, and 70s to upper 60s, in fact, for the Sierra under mostly sunny skies. Again, a cooler start, but for those out in the outdoors during the afternoon for the Sierra, really nice, comfortable afternoon. All right, here's your forecast for the valley over the next week or so. Temperatures, again, we talked about scaling back into the mid 80s through Saturday. Sunday down to about 80 degrees. That's our average high this time of year. A little bit cooler on Monday, and then we start seeing the temperatures rounding the curve and then on the way back up going into next week. Adrian?
All right, Nick, thanks so much.